sure somebody said it before. I actually went to USDGC this year, and I was following Nico for a little bit, and I like Nico, but everybody else who was following Nico with me was there they wanted to see the blow up and wanted to see Nico do bad.
Interesting.
I think disc golf needs people like Nico. There's no real villains in disc golf right now. I feel like Nico might be the only guy, because like Paul and Ricky and Calvin and Eagle, they all just seem like super nice people, and they're
it's too
really composed.
It's too well. You say that, and a couple of the people you just mentioned, I've seen them do things just as bad as Nico on the course.
It's just the reputation.
It's
before it.
So I've seen a couple of people that you just mentioned do worse things than I've seen Nico do on the course. So, no.
You haven't seen enough Nico videos to see how he got his reputation. Here's what I'll say. I agree.
Nico's gotten better though.
Correct.
But I'll say like disc golf is still in like the YMCA league right now, in the sense of where it's like it's a very small niche sport. Everyone knows everyone, and the fan base, like you would have a hard time finding someone that was like a fan of a player and like you said, doesn't like a player. Where you go to like any other sport, obviously the team sports, it's a little bit different, but any other individual sport, tennis, I was going to use tennis and golf because those are probably the two biggest individual sports that I pay attention to. There are people that I enjoy. There are people that I don't enjoy. And so I think as disc golf grows and gets out of like the everyone's buddy, you're going to see more of that unless you do stuff like Nico. And again, what you're claiming is Nico has, and I've seen videos of what Nico has done in the past. And obviously when he does do anything now, it gets publicized and everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
But there are tons of people on tour that what Nico's doing right now, not in the past, but what he's doing right now, there's tons of people on the tour that do that as well. No one talks about it. Mm-hmm. Or they just like, turn a blind eye. So I think.
Well, I think that Nico having a villain persona, like you need villains in sports. You don't need villains that everyone hates. But if you look at Tom Brady, great example. When he was at New England, you either were a New England fan.
Don't do team sports.
But Tom Brady's a great example.
Of what?
Of a villain. You either were a Patriots fan or you hated Tom Brady.
But
there wasn't an in-between.
I know, but you can't really do team sports though, because
why? Tom Brady there was no one on the New England Patriots. I can't name a single other person. I just did not like Tom Brady. Once he went to the Buccaneers, kind of a fan of Tom Brady. But when Tom Brady was with the Patriots,
but people hated the Patriots because they won so much. That's just what.
But
happens.
they put it specifically on Tom Brady.
Well, and Belichick.
But that's what I'm saying. That is good because when the Patriots are playing, people who don't like, they might have been playing the Cardinals. People who don't care about the Cardinals at all are watching, rooting, hoping they beat the Patriots. That's the type of thing that villains do in sports. Is villains create heroes.
Well,
you can't have a hero if you don't have a villain.
Someone did say a good thing. They said villain might not be the right word, but like someone that's polarizing to
Correct.
where like a villain is like, in my opinion, a villain is like someone like a Ruggs person where like he went out and did something off the field, or Ndamukong Suh, of where he was like, there was multiple times where you could see him intentionally trying to hurt people.
Correct.
Right? Of where that's like, that's not cool. But someone that is overly energetic, or someone that, I mean, even a villain could be someone that like literally like doesn't do photos, doesn't do autographs, just literally laser focused, walks out there, does their thing, walks off.
Yeah.
And people might be like, dude, that guy sucks.
Yeah.
And other people could be like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of what
Nico. Polarizing is a great way to put it.
Yeah, I think you're looking for more of that versus like someone that's like trying to like get in your way while you're putting, or yelling, saying, coughing right when you're about to throw, like someone like that where they're clearly just
what I will say that Nico does,
that's more of a villain versus
what Nico does that more people in disc golf should do in general is show raw emotion. Like when that dude was winning Waco, he was losing his mind. Like part of it I think is some players for years that were winning tournaments had done it so much it's like, it's not a special moment. Whereas like if you have a player like Kona when she won Waco cried, stuff like that. But raw emotion and celebrations and stuff like that, that is does a lot to grow the sport. Just because those are the moments that like I can watch a feel good hockey moment, not know a thing that's going on, but get chills and be like, oh my word, that was incredible. And then have or if you start hearing a story of players going on a run or coming back from an injury, that has made me watch sports that I don't care about at all. But because the story reached me and I heard of what this person's attempting to do or what is going on currently, I've turned on golf tournaments before I cared about golf because such and so was in the running and ESPN did a great job telling the story of why it's incredible that they're in the running.
Yeah.
So
I think you're also going to see more of this from people that are financially stable.
That's also valid.
That's going to be huge because I'll use myself as an example. I didn't do anything on tour when I'm playing. I don't do anything to try to make people like me or try to get fans. I'm going out there and whatever happens, that's just what's going on. And maybe at the end of the day, I do something that rubs people the wrong way. I apologize, whatever it is. But when you go out there and you're not playing and thinking like, oh, I need to make sure like everyone likes me. And your goal is like, I don't freaking care if no one likes me. I'm trying to win this tournament.
Yeah.
That is when you're actually going to start seeing people's real emotions versus right now, again, it's all very buddy, and no one wants to hurt anyone's feelings and everyone wants everyone to like them and not do anything wrong. And so when you look at players on tour, that's why majority of them are very similar in personality. It's almost like a cookie cutter of like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. And now,
because when you're like that, no one's going to dislike you.
Correct. And so there's so many tour guys out there that they're all the same. So, and I think you guys listening, you guys watching this, I think it comes through eventually. I think it's something where you're like, I don't think that's actually how that person is.
Yeah.
And I think that comes through, and I think it's better it's easier, first off, just to be more organic. But again, if you are a player where you're like, hey, I'm in a contract year, I need to make sure I get a contract, blah, 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 it's tough.
Yeah.
But if you're all of a sudden sitting like Ricky's going to watch out.
Watch out for a number of reasons.
Watch out for a number of reasons.
Ricky's got World Championship plastic back in the bag.
But the thing is, like, he's a perfect example. Like, he doesn't care.
The monkey's off his back.
He doesn't care what, like, people say about him anymore. Like, if he just goes out and does his job and wins, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So,
well, also someone made a good point. They said, wait until the payouts get real deep. Emotions will follow. Great example was
you miss a putt and it costs you $10,000.
Look at the Pro Tour Championship. The emotion being seen coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
If that was for $5,000 in the title, emotions are not going to be nearly as high as it's for $30,000.
Nathan Queen was going nuts every single time he made a putt.
Well, yeah, rightfully so.
Absolutely nuts.
Every putt, he knew he was that much closer to winning $30,000.
It's also weird watching me personally as a sport fan. It would have been really weird watching that if Nathan Queen, even Drew Gibson, when he was making putts, he was going nuts.
Yeah,
it would have been weird watching that if he was just like stoic and was just like,
well, a big part
with
a big part of it too. You have to remember,
be tough.
Is big crowds in disc golf are consistently big crowds in disc golf are a somewhat recent thing. Mm-hmm. Majors for years and years and years have had big crowds. Stuff like that. But like week in and week out, players are playing in front of big crowds. You need a big crowd.
Feed off of that energy.
Yeah, you need a big crowd to be able to celebrate and not be cringy. Because if you're screaming at the top of your lungs and beating your chest and you're the only one there, like,
well, it depends.
It's weird. It's a little weird.
Well, hold on. It depends. If it's for $100, might be weird. If it's for $100,000, not weird.
Absolutely,
right,
absolutely. But when you have 5,000 people also screaming their heads off, then nothing you do is cringy.